People might know you from the show Culinary Class War.
Me and him are cooking next week.
Oh, you are?
Again on a TV show. But yeah, so essentially I was fostered out. My mum has a mental illness, schizophrenia, and my dad is essentially a gambling alcoholic.
You got a 2-star. What's the boundary between 2 and a 3? Hello everybody, welcome to Aiden with Aiden podcast. Today we have a special guest, Joseph, and we're going to talk about his life. We're going to converse about how he came to Korea, how he became a chef, and a little bit more personal about his life as well. And we're also going to talk about how we could help somebody together. Joseph, welcome.
Thank you.
Could you just take a time to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Joseph. I'm a chef living and working in Korea. I'm currently operating Restaurant Abbott.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
This space, this is beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
Right now, to be honest, I have a little tiny studio that I have placed, but it's a place where I have to book, kind of get the time in advance, get it right, schedule, have people come. It's really difficult, but it's kind of nice that you have your own space and
Thank
you
you.
can come. And
no, we're very happy with it. We only moved here about 18 months ago, so yeah, we're very happy on how it turned out, so it's really nice.
Okay, yeah, it is. It's actually beautiful. It's in Apgujeong, Rodeo area. Yeah, so I've been here, but I didn't know that this was in the little.
It's kind of tucked away, right? It's just like in the little back alley. So.
But
nice.
I mean, your restaurant is all reservation based, so you don't really need
foot traffic.
Yeah, right. Foot traffic or public eyes to see where it's at.
No, definitely.
So, how's your business, by the way?
These days it's crazy. Yeah, these days since Hukbakyolisa and getting 2 Michelin stars, it's been very, very busy. So it's very, very, very thankful. And yeah, it's a nice time to be operating the restaurant for sure.
Yeah, congratulations on the 2-star, by the way.
Thank you.
Really recent.
Yeah, was it last month? Last month. For 4 weeks it's been. So still hasn't quite settled in. So please don't ask me how I feel about 2 stars, because that's the most common question that I can't really seem to answer at the minute.
Well, okay, but Joseph, people might know you from the show Culinary Class War. Yeah. Right? You were white robe chef.
Yes.
Went against the crazy person,
chef.
Right? Crazy guy. I mean, you guys competed with eel.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Do you have experience dealing with eel? That was your first time?
Like European eel, yeah. So most of my training is done from Australia originally, but most of my training is either in Europe or America, where the eel is a lot different in regards to size and how it's already pre-prepared. So the Korean eel has always been a tricky one that we've never really put on the menu. So it wasn't my favorite ingredient, I think. But yeah, I think the way that I approached it, I was happy, and I was happy with what went out. So yeah.
Okay.
That's all you can control. At the end of the
true.
day.
Everything you can control, you did your best on it. But it was your first time actually dealing with it, right?
Yeah, and it's actually funny because we're having me and him are cooking next week.
Oh, you are?
Again on a TV show, and the ingredient is eel. So
again?
I feel it's the first time since it's come out that we've had to battle, for lack of a word, again, and they've picked eel. So I'm hoping the next time I can really try to win, or at least get close.
Now you could prepare in advance though, right?
Yeah, I know this time. Well, I had time last time, but it was just, I didn't really know that format and that kind of cooking competition. I normally don't do because it never really puts out the best kind of food. It always kind of only puts out the best kind of television. But it was a great experience, and it's brought a lot of eyes on kind of all the restaurant scene in Korea. So.
Wait, can you tell me a little bit more about the preparation behind that? Did they give you some time to think about your recipe?
Yeah, I mean, they won't before I filmed. So I've done a bit of filming before. The NDA that Netflix make you sign makes it impossible. I have so many thoughts and feelings on that TV show that I can't actually tell you. About. Maybe off air I can, but yeah, those guys, they're ruthless. So great experience, guys. If you're watching, loved it. No dramas.
Oh, that's amazing. And then Ebbit, this is a Korean ingredient restaurant.
Yes.
You specialize in Korean food, but are you westernizing it?
It's such a hard concept sometimes to wrap your head around. So the restaurant is Korean-led ingredients. It's not Most people try and label it as fusion, but for me, fusion is like when you take kimchi, mix it with some pasta. That's kind of like trying to mix two cultures together. Where we sit is we take Korean ingredients and just try to showcase them as best as possible. Obviously, not growing up in this country is kind of a disadvantage because I don't know a lot of the ingredients, but on a different side, it gives me a different outlook on how we can move these ingredients forward. And the goal of the restaurant is to just showcase that fine dining, especially in Korea, it doesn't need to be luxury ingredients. It can be I feel like the ingredients here are special enough that we don't need to put caviar and this on Korean ingredients and call it hanshik. I feel like the ingredients here are super special, and I feel like there's still some room to grow in that direction, and that's hopefully what we do at the restaurant, is put a different perspective on that.
And you source the ingredients yourself, right? I think that's what I saw online.
Yeah.
Every week?
I'm normally somewhere every week. Like yesterday I was picking jindale for the new menu.
The flower.
Yeah, the little flower, not to be confused with those azaleas, but so that's the perfect season now for that. But I don't pick every ingredient every day. Like I pick the ingredients that I want to learn about, and then I try and find the right farmer, grower, producer, or the person who does one or maybe two ingredients, but normally one, and then try to establish a relationship with them, and then get the best ingredients, because you probably don't know this, but most of the best ingredients don't go to the restaurants in Korea, especially small restaurants. Most of the ingredients will go to the department stores because they honestly, if you go to any baekgwajom, if you go to any of those places, they're always like the best seafood, the best stuff, because they buy in volume. So for our restaurant, we have 25 guests a night. That's probably like 2 fish, 3 fish. Like if you're talking about a 15-course menu, no one is going to sell you their best product at that stage unless you go down and you talk to them and you build a rapport and you try to do it that way. So my role is to get down to the farmer and the producer, put a face to the problem, and try and source the best ingredients.
That's awesome. You're actually providing like a purpose and meaningful, I guess, where it's going to the farmer as well. And do you tell them where it's going and the restaurant that you're running?
No, definitely. I think most farmers get into it as well to do, like, I believe that even for kind of everyone, they have like the best intentions, but then like it's so hard because you need to make money, right? You need to do that thing, and like you do want your hard work to go to people who are really going to enjoy it, and like they do really care. But when you just call it, like if you cold call, you just get nowhere. But if you go down and put like a little smiley face and give them a little hug, give the little Ajimas a hug, and then tell them about the restaurant, and then also have them, like we have them eat with us as well, so they can really, when they can, most of them are outside of Seoul, but like when they can come up and actually see what we're trying to do here, I think really helps kind of manage that relationship.
Are the farmers more of the elderly that you talk to, or are they like younger people too?
A mix. I think when I first came, like it's kind of like 3 types, I would say. Like the Myeongins, I tried to meet a couple new Myeongins or Korean traditional masters per year, and develop a long-standing relationship with those. They're normally, I don't know if you've seen, I have a book. It's like Myeongins. Most of them are like women, elderly women for sure. Wow. That's kind of most, especially in the food area. Most of those traditions are held up by them. But then there is some really cool farming coming from the younglings now these days. Like I was down a couple of weeks ago with a chame farmer, and they were very super young, like late 20s, early 30s, which is cool as well. So it's nice to see some fresh kind of like young generation coming into farming. I think it's not the most desirable thing at the moment. So it's cool to see the younger generation get into farming.
Oh, okay. As you might know, I do deal with a lot of elderly here in Korea.
Yeah, I really love what you guys do. So
I appreciate it. But I've been learning a lot, and the interaction has been interesting because even though I am Korean, I'm from America, and they could kind of see that. Yeah. And the interaction is maybe it might be a little bit different compared to how a Korean and Korean would interact. They're more fascinated about where I am, who I am, where I'm from. Yeah. I imagine that it's pretty similar with you when you talk to the elderly farmers. Yeah. Do you have a story that you kind of remember of an interaction?
I think when I first came, I went down to Jeju to dive with the Henyos.
Oh, wow. You actually know?
No, so I went, and I think I was 20, like when I very first came, I came to Korea for about a month in 2017. And I went down because I heard about these divers, and I thought it was such a cool story. So I went down to dive with them in the morning. I rented all my stuff. I got up at 5:30, went down, and they're like all gathered, and they're having their tea and stuff. And I was like, I had an interpreter at the time, and I went in, and I was like, I really want to dive with you, like learn how to free dive and do this stuff. And they said to me like, oh no, you will only slow me down. Like, these are like 60, 70-year-old women, and I'm like, I was born in Australia. I surf. I can surf. I'm like a pretty strong swimmer. Like I have my bronze medallion. I can swim open water pretty well. I kind of just found it the most funniest thing ever. So I sat, like I watched these ladies go out and dive and come back. And I was waiting on the rocks, and there was one person who was like processing the songe, the sea urchins. And I was kept on trying to ask her questions, and she just didn't care. She was like scooping the songe, and she just kept shoving sea urchin in my mouth. I was like trying to ask a question. She just had this little plastic spoon that she was like preparing all the sea urchin with, and it was just such a nice thing because like I'm trying to like get something like, I want to learn about this and this and this, and then like the most important thing you can just learn is just like some things that can't be said, which is just the tradition of food and feeding people. So that's what I still remember that as a pretty funny moment.
Did you actually do well in the dive?
Well, I actually couldn't go with them. They wouldn't
actually stopped you.
So I kind of had to I kind of push pretty hard, but then it's like, it is their livelihood, right? It is, they're not here to like baby someone who's never done it before. They actually have to collect what they need for today. They need to take that to the market. They need to sell it. And kind of when they explained it to me like that, I was like, it's not just like, not here for tourism. It's like here to have a livelihood. So I had to respect that. But,
just to explain the background of these Henyos,
Yes.
or women in water, right?
Yes.
They are, from a long time ago, their job was to just free dive underwater and collect sea urchins and like sea cucumber, things like that, right? Which is...
It's crazy. Well, sorry, I don't know if it's even relevant, but I thought, because when I first came to Korea, they said that it was because like the men would go fishing and not come back because it's quite a dangerous job, so the widows were left to do. I think it's mostly then like recently, because I did a project with the Henyos last year where I did a menu for them at their restaurant they have. They have a small restaurant, so I designed a menu for them.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but most of them these days, it's mostly from, I don't know if you know the haksal from 4-Sam. It's like the big massacre down in Jeju. That was like mostly men were kind of gone. So it was like a lot of the older women are actually from there. So it's probably a carryover from that is why they started. And it's kind of that thing of just like a tradition born out of necessity, which is kind of a way that I feel like about most Korean ingredients, because growing up in Australia, we only eat prime ingredients like fillet steak, everything like that. But in Korea, you have like gosali, which is poisonous naturally. You have to soak it like 7 times and all that. I find like a lot of Korean ingredients and a lot of history here is like a lot of it's born out of like necessity.
Where did you do your education, culinary education?
I did it in Australia. So I'm from Tasmania, the island down the bottom. And then I moved to the UK once I got my trade certificate. And then I worked in the UK, Scandinavia, US, now Korea.
Where did you get this Korean inspiration from? Like, how did you start?
That's such a long story, but I think so. I was working in the UK at a really nice restaurant. I was and it was just I was just kind of sick of like European food at that stage. So me and my friends, we organized a restaurant group that would travel around the world, and we would do a pop-up restaurant in each location, each city.
Okay.
So we'd spend a couple of weeks. We'd fly in, we'd spend a couple of weeks like traveling around, meeting people, and then we would open a pop-up restaurant and we would sell tickets, and people would come and we'd serve them the food, they'd give us the money, we'd use that money to go to the next city.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was just kind of like, and we'd only ever earn like just enough to get by. Like it was just like, so we did that for close to 2 years, and we did all these crazy pop-ups, like we did Base Camp Everest, we did trains, we did like all these crazy things, because the whole concept was to not do fine dining and try to create experience-based dining. And one of the places on the way was Korea.
Oh,
so that's
wow.
how I came to be introduced to Korea. And from there here I am.
Yeah, you came 2019, I believe, correct?
Yeah, I came it's such as life is, it's such a long kind of wiggly line.
Right.
2016, I did a pop-up for 3 weeks. Came back in 2017 for 3 months. And then I moved over fully in 2019.
I
so
see.
it's I've known Korea since 2016, but I've lived here full time since end of 2018.
And you think you're going to be permanently here now, or you have other plans?
My wife wants to live in Australia, but I'm pretty committed to Korea, so I'm still, I think for the next 5 years, I'll be here for sure.
Is she in Korea with you right now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So she had to kind of give up her life in Australia to come here?
She's Korean, so...
Oh, she's Korean.
Yeah, she's Korean.
She wants to live in Australia?
That's it, though, isn't it? All the Koreans, they want to live in Australia. All the Australians want to live in Korea.
Wait, what? I totally thought she just came from Australia with you.
No. She probably thought, I'm marrying an Australian, I can go to Australia.
What?
Now we're back in Korea. No, she's probably in the next room.
Oh, is she? And you met her here?
I met her in London. So.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you met her in London.
And then came to Korea with the pop-up while I was still dating, and then moved permanently over at the end of 2018. So.
Oh, very, very interesting.
Yeah,
man.
cool.
Maybe off camera, I would love to hear you guys' relationship story too.
Please. I'd love to share.
Okay, and Evan, it's 2-star.
Yes.
Again, congratulations.
Thank you.
And one of the few in Korea that are 2 stars.
Yeah, I think there's 9.
9.
9 2-star restaurants.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
Especially as an Australian who's in a foreign country to be able to do this, have a business and run a restaurant, a 2-star Michelin guide restaurant.
Yeah.
I know you said don't ask you how you feel, but I guess
I think what I would say is that, like, even when I went on the stage to receive the award, it's like you probably saw when you came in here, there's so many people that has to, just for a general day at Everett, it's like so many people have to put in so much work. So it's like not just me, it's a whole team it's like 30 people now, and it's like to make this whole operation run. It's like one person per guest. Like tonight we're at 28 guests and we have literally the same amount of employees to make it all run. So I always feel quite like a sagugun I always feel like it's quite a bit disingenuous if I have to go on stage and like receive an award, because it's like, it's very nice obviously and feels really good, but it's like, I don't do nearly enough here, to be honest, to get all the credit. So it's very much a team effort, and I'm very, very mindful of that.
That's amazing. I bet 1-to-1 ratio to customer to employee.
It's not cheap. That income just keeps going up as well. So that price just keeps going up. But I mean, it's always that way. Every fine dining restaurant I work at, whether it's in the US, like the staffing to make everything. You'll probably see tonight, if you're eating, you'll see the amount of work and detail that has to go into each dish. And it's a lot of love and passion goes into it.
Yeah. I've, to be honest, not have too much experience in fine dining. So this will be a really good experience for myself. Yeah. Never been to a 2-star Michelin restaurant. So I'm really excited for it. This podcast also, we like to highlight, I guess, your community service efforts and how your life has played into helping other people as well. For myself, I'm really passionate about food, and hence the reason why I also reached out to you. And I'm trying to figure out ways to help the elderly or people who are underprivileged through food. And
I really love what you do. I think I was introduced by a mutual friend and been following you ever since, and I really like what pops up on my feed, so it's very cool, man. Really cool.
I appreciate that. So with that, I wanted to hear, I know there are so many ways food could impact people.
Definitely.
Could you maybe tell us another example of how you made an impact in someone's life through food, or even just a personal example as well?
Like, so when just before COVID, we had we always try to, as everyone can do when there's either disaster relief or something like that, we always try to find ways, especially through our cooking, our food to do stuff. So when it was bushfires in Australia, I don't know if you remember that, those are massive bushfires. We did cook for the bush, and we always tried to be active. And we understand that we have it's nice to have this restaurant, but it's also nice to find ways to give back when needed as well. So we always try to do that. Can't really think of many recent examples. To be honest, maybe we should be a bit more active.
No, I mean, I'm sure there are many, many ways, and hence why we're here together too as well.
Yes,
but before we get to what we're going to do later on, I kind of want to talk about your background a little bit.
Yes, of course.
You've shared that you are a foster home child back in Australia, right?
Yes.
To be honest, I don't know too much about the Korean foster care system or Australian foster care system. How was it? I guess I don't know how to
jump into this.
Way.
No, I can take that as a good cue. That's fine. I normally don't tell people that because I remember. So I was fostered from 9 or 10 years old, and obviously it wasn't a great time in my life. But I remember, like I was raised by a lovely family in Australia, and I remember I think I was like 14 or 15. I don't know if you remember at school. This is showing my age here, where you'd have to you'd have to get a note from your parents, right? And you'd have to say, like, if you were going on a school trip, you had to get a handwritten note, right? And you have to get it signed by your parents. I don't know if you remember. Like,
yeah, I remember.
I remember that. Finally, there's some people.
Is that not like that anymore?
I don't know. I think everyone's just ChatGPTing their way through life at the minute. But I remember going to school, and this is like I'd been like getting good grades, going to school, okay grades. And I remember because the last name didn't match my last name because I'd been fostered out, right? And I remember the teacher was just like, oh, you're like I just kind of just said, oh yeah, this is kind of like the situation. Like that's not, they should go, it has to be signed by your parent. I was like, yeah, they are my guardians. Explain the situation. And then I remember from that point, the change in the way that people treated me was so much, it was this kind of like the pity of like, oh, you're a foster kid. You possibly couldn't do like anything with your life. That's kind of the feeling I got of like, but I remember saying, oh, but you're doing so well. And I was like, yeah, well, I have I come to school, I do the stuff, I go. And so that from then, I don't really share a whole lot just because I find that it's kind of always seen as like a sob story to tell. So I don't really share I don't think I've even shared this in any of the Korean TV. But yeah, so essentially I was fostered out because I had... my mum has a mental illness, schizophrenia, and my dad is essentially a gambling alcoholic. So it wasn't a great childhood growing up. So I think after the school, someone reported us, and then I remember one day going to a courthouse in my parents' car and then leaving in a different car, like just going straight to a foster home. Was there for about a couple of years, waiting to kind of find people that could put us in like... take care of us, 4 of us at the time, of a family of 4. And it was, from then on, like that interim time was really rough because those places are just full of like 10 to 14-year-olds who are just neglected, right? So there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of fights, there's a lot of all that stuff. But then from being fostered out and having a loving family that took care of us and showed us good values and raised from them from I think 11 or 12 onwards, and yeah, it was good. From there it was pretty fine, and I think it's easy to, sometimes in life you get good role models who show you, oh, if you do this it's good. Sometimes you can also use the reverse. You can also say, okay, if I go down this path of this, then it's going to be, this is the result you're going to get. So it's very easy to use it, I think, in a positive way as well. So it's kind of how I've always try to approach my life. Not always perfect in doing so. But yeah, that's the short story.
I apologize for bringing it up. But
no, there's so many, I've got so many walls. You're not going to break it down today, unfortunately.
But thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing that story.
No, I think it's important to know, like, you can achieve, like, it doesn't, I think I quite thankful that I know actually now that I've have this restaurant, I see a lot of people who are on the exact opposite spectrum with growing up with everything, and I don't actually think I would rather that. I know there's a nice, obviously I wouldn't wish anyone my childhood, but I think it does give me a lot of motivation to do better in life, to succeed, whatever that means to me, and try and push to have a better life. So I try to look at it always as a positive.
Oh, that kind of gave me chills right now, actually.
Thank
you so much for sharing that. I also try to help out the orphanages here in Korea, but it's a little bit difficult because they're at a stage where they are living the harder lifestyle and people are pitying them, and that's the biggest thing in Korea as well.
No, it's the perception around it is not.
Exactly. So I found that very difficult, and to interact with foster home kids or just orphan kids, and it's amazing to hear your story because you've gone through, whether it was good or bad or mix of both, you've came out of it as a positive mindset. You came out of it using whatever experience you had to build something up to make the person who you are to be who you are right now. And so that's very inspiring to hear.
Thank you.
I think it could inspire a lot of people as well. And we talked about how we could help somebody together. And food is, of course, one of the major way we could do that. But also hearing your story in advance, I thought it would be amazing to kind of team up and inspire and also provide an experience that not even normal like myself had, experience dining at a 2-star. But providing this amazing experience to somebody who's gone through a similar experience as you or have gone through that to inspire and give them that experience. So Joseph and I talked about bringing in Korean. He was an orphan, so he wasn't in the foster system, but he was an orphan, and he is actually in culinary school right now.
Oh, amazing! So really cool.
Perfect.
Oh, that's awesome. Great
right?
work. That's really cool. That's nice.
Awesome. You've definitely inspired me to. I just looked out, but there's so many people to help out.
I remember when my wife as well is kind of big into giving back as well, and I remember when we've done before as well. There's a lot that could be improved, I think, in that system as well. So,
and I do believe that in the future, not just this experience, but with the video as well, it'll inspire a lot of people.
Thank you.
But
hopefully,
in the future as well, Edit or just you as Joseph yourself, and we could make so much impact not only in Korea or maybe if you go back to Australia too. And
that's kind of the goal, I think. And I didn't realize because I've been so focused on just my own personal growth and being successful. I didn't realize even until I went back, there was a lot of people who were like, there's not a lot of people leave Tasmania. It's a very small thing. So it's nice to hopefully have a positive influence on the people around you. And anything like that, I think can hopefully turn a bad situation into a good situation is always a good thing. So
I guess if you have advice for someone who's gone through the foster care system or is an orphan right now or have graduated from that, what's like the number one thing that you could share with?
Such a hard question. I think it's like everyone's situation is
just something personal for yourself that I'm sure it could be relatable to many people. And so what was it that you thought, looking back right now, was important for you to just hold on to and have learned, or just maybe you have experienced at the time looked really horrible, but now you think back and oh wow, that actually shaped me to be who I am now?
I mean, I would say when I was, I can only couldn't talk from personal experience. I don't want to say on anyone else's experience. I would say I found there was I would say a lot of hardship and a lot of disappointment early on in my life. But I think unless you're like incapacitated, you have the ability to change all of that. Like it might not turn around in a day or a week or a month, but compounding interest of just doing the right thing, applying yourself, doing what you believe to be right, not what you believe to be easy. And like, it doesn't move the needle too much over the day to day, but over the month to month, year to year, you'll see, like I look back now and think there's so many small decisions that I was making that got me to where I was. It wasn't just one thing. It was just like you move the needle slightly every single day. Over the course of 6 months, 2 years, 5 years, you won't even be able to see who you were back then. And I think if you go with that, and you have the ability to do that. Unless you are incapacitated, you can change your circumstances. I'm a big believer that you have free will, and determination can get you there.
Oh wow! Thank you so much for sharing that.
Sorry,
That's
I should
inspiring
probably prepare it
for
a
me.
little bit better, but no, I do believe it. I do believe that you can. How you frame the situation that you're in makes a big difference. And if you look at it as like, oh, I can't succeed because of this, then that's what's going to happen. But if you think, okay, that's what's happened, and I'm going to use that to get better, then that's what will happen. I believe.
It might be another personal question.
Go for it, shoot.
We've talked about how that pittiness from others is difficult as a foster child, right? I guess, do you hold on to that as like a something that pulled you down during the process at the time and now, or is it something kind of that you've used as a motivation and strength to build yourself up? Or maybe to rephrase the question, was it like being a foster child? Was it an identity that you don't like to hold on to now, or is it something that you are okay with and you are proud that it kind of built you to be who you are?
Yeah.
I don't know if
No, that makes sense. Yeah. I think it goes through. Like at the moment, I'm pretty comfortable in sharing that because it doesn't really, like, I'm so far ahead of where I thought I would be in my life, and I don't think that there's. It doesn't really enter my day to day, to be honest. Like it's not really something that pops up a whole lot. So I'm pretty comfortable in sharing it, and I think it's quite important because obviously it affects a lot of people. I think at the early stages it was hard, so I didn't really share it a lot because of and that's in Australia. I can't imagine what it's like here in Korea, where the perception is probably a lot stronger on that. So I think I definitely felt a lot of shame around that at the start. But now it kind of is, if you succeed past that, it's a nice way to show how you can progress. So I think it's gone through different stages throughout my life on how I feel about it and how I share it, I think. Yeah.
Oh. Again, I'm so sorry for bringing it up,
No,
but I feel
no,
like your experience and your just wisdom could inspire so many people that's watching, and seeing where you are, how you've done, and how much work you've put in to become who you are. It's very inspiring to see. I use that word inspire a lot, but it is truly inspirational, right?
Thank you.
And that's what we want to do. We want to provide that inspiration towards at least one person today. He probably have heard about you in this restaurant as a 2-star guide, and to be honest, like a lot of people have the same shame about who they are, who they were.
Definitely.
But this person came out and said, I'm ready to share my story and learn and ready to grow.
That's
so
really cool.
He's ready for accepting, like a wisdom or experience and guidance from you. And so I think it would be a great opportunity for him and for his growth in the culinary space. And maybe, hopefully, I don't know, if he learns a lot and has a good experience with you, he gets an opportunity somewhere here and there. That'd be cool.
No, definitely, I mean, definitely. We're always looking to inspire the younger generation. So very excited, very exciting. It's a really meaningful project. So thank you for reaching out, and anything that we can do, we're always here. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Is there something that you want to share to? My audience is mostly English-speaking audiences.
Okay, amazing.
So not necessarily all Koreans, but I guess about Korea, your life in Korea, was there some difficulties as an Australian, or was it positive? Like, you have any?
Yeah, I mean, there's always, if you're a foreigner in a different country, especially a country that is, like I always say to Korea, there's a lot of Koreans in Korea. Like, it's like a joke, but it's like, if when I lived in London, it's such a mix, right? It's such or if you live in like a metropolitan city, it's such a mix. I would say Korea is there's a lot of Koreans. It's very homogenous in that regard. So it is definitely hard to come into this, especially like now I've been in this country 6 years full time. Like even though I'm in all the guides and all the things, I still like even from the chef community. Until like last year, no one would invite me to anything. No one would invite me to anywhere. It took me to learn Korean, to really apply myself in this country and showcase, because there's a lot of people that come in and out. So I guess from their perspective as well, they weren't sure how long I was even going to be here for. So it's a long journey, but I think right now I feel like this is my home. I live here, I work here, I have a business here. I'm very much invested in Korea, and I think it's a great place, though it can be quite difficult at the start. I think if you are here long term, it is a very welcoming country.
What's your goal in Korea now? Now that you reached 2 stars, is it 3?
Yeah, it's so much nicer now because like we got the star, and then we had COVID, and it's been difficult because now we're fully booked. I can just let like all the crazy ideas that I've always wanted to do and have kind of been held back by, are we going to be busy next month? Or do I need to make sure that our staffings are okay? Now I can kind of, all the boring stuff I say boring, but the stuff that really, because it needs to be a profitable operation.
Right, a business side of it. Right?
Yeah, the business side is all taken care of, so I can just let my mind, I can spend my days either working on the ingredients, working on the menu, working on how to present them in more creative ways. And I think it's such a good time right now for me because I can just let it run wild. So we're not after building the next restaurant or anything. We're very committed to this space and just trying to deliver an amazing experience.
You have a crazy idea that you have on top of your head that you want to execute?
I signed off on one thing today, which is it's like a tree. It's like a tree plate that has the ingredients coming out of the tree. Because like there's so many ingredients, whether it's like pyogobos, that was like pine or mushrooms coming out of the tree, or have you ever seen that? So like coming to the table, and then this tree, it kind of opens up with the elements of the dish, and then we'll do it like table side. So we've been working with this cabinet maker. We worked on a different project, and that's pretty crazy. That one's gonna be pretty crazy. So I just signed off on the design today. So I think probably next month I'll start to put a dish together around that, because what we do is very interactive and creative based. There's some normally presented dishes, but then a lot of it is trying to bring the guest into the dining experience and not have them just sit on their phone all day. So I think I'll send you a picture when it's done, but it's gonna.
Oh yes, please.
Yeah, that's not. I'm very excited for that one.
Seems like you're a chef, but you have to be good at cooking, but you have to be good at creativity as well. It's something that I love to do. Like I love to have these kind of ideas, which brings in elements of not just the food and the ingredients, but how the guest interacts with them. And I think whether it's the plating, whether it's that, you'll see tonight. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's gonna be pretty fun. Okay, that probably shows you why you're so successful and you got 2-star. What's the boundary between 2 and a 3?
It's consistency. I think most of the guides and they want to see that it's the same team, it's the same experience. It's not just like a once a week, once a month. It takes time, and sometimes you'll be like, I thought we could have got 2 stars last year. I think the food hasn't changed, but they're looking for consistency and over a period of time. So I think that's there. I think what we're doing now is very much on track for that. And it's like, if we didn't, I don't expect we'd get it next year. I think it'd be pretty crazy to assume that. But I would say when we did get it, nothing would have changed here. It would have just been the same product consistently delivered over time. Because that's what Michelin is really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Michelin is more like a standard for people who, like myself, who don't really know food. And it's like a basis for us to know whether it's good or bad, right?
Yeah.
As a chef yourself, as a last question, what is your standard and where do you want to get for yourself to kind of realize on your own that I've made my Joseph Michelin 3-star restaurant?
Yeah. I think I was trying to tell someone the other day, because there is like the Michelin guide. There's also like 50. There's literally 100 guides. Asia 50 best,
like so many
Blue
Ribbon,
La List, Mango Pay, has 100. Louis Vuitton's got a guide out this
Oh, they
week.
do?
Everyone's got a guide.
Right.
We joke that we're going to create a guidebook for the guidebooks. But so for us, we never cook for the guides.
Right.
I think it's such a terrible way to operate anything. We have these people who come in once a year, and they're going to be the arbiters of whether we are a successful restaurant or not. For us, it's like, we know when we see our guests, we have a very open kitchen, whether they're enjoying themselves or not enjoying themselves. And we're just trying to make sure that every guest, every night, is having a great experience. And that's what we try to focus on most. It's great to win these awards. It feels great, but like, it's one day in 6 years that I get 2 stars. It's like, if that was the only day that I felt that we had derived success, it would be a pretty terrible way to operate my life. So it's fun, it's great, I love it. It's making this restaurant super busy, so I'm not going to complain. But for us, it's the next service is always the most important.
Next service.
Yeah. So, and that's tonight for you. So.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's a great mindset. Wow, the next service. Huh?
Yeah.
Hey, so that's what in your head. That's what you're looking forward to, and that's the success.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's what you have to aim for. Is just that who's coming in tonight, and how can we make this the best restaurant? Because it's very expensive. Like, I'm not delusional in the fact that it's out of the reach for most people. Most of the time, even when I go to fine dining, it's once or twice a year maximum. It's normally for a very, very special day. So we want to make sure that it's delicious, they have a great time, it's great service, but also they leave with a memory. Like, I went to that restaurant, it was amazing. And because to justify it at this level, it has to be something pretty special.
And now, you know what? I can I pay for my food? You could treat the guy.
No. It's fine. We've because your table. I've actually, because we only normally do 11 tables, but I wanted to fit you in today. So you are before another table. So from a business perspective, it's already covered. So don't worry.
You know what? I know you don't need advertisement, but hopefully this could advertise a little bit.
Thank you. No, I think more thing I want to do is, spread the word about what you're doing as well. So thank you very much. It's a real honor to be here. And thank you.
And yourself as well. I just want to showcase what kind of amazing person you are and how you came about. It wasn't an easy journey, but now you've achieved something, at least in my eyes. I don't know about your own standards, but in my eyes, I think you've done an amazing job, especially in a foreign country like Korea, where criticism could be difficult to handle. And so I just want to congratulate you. I just want to say thank you for your heart to serve others as well. And not just only today, but in the future as well.
Thank you.
You're going to make great impact as an Australian in Korea. And so on behalf of all Koreans and Korean Americans too, we thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate your time. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
guys.